Audio. We've got multiple police cars involved in some kind of incident with a black man inside called black man arrest. And there's other people here. Black woman searching. Number 0362, unmarked canine unit, white. Got lights, and blue lights on the vehicle, 7740.
Mark?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Got the woman's place, woman from place into a police vehicle. And put into 0362.
Oh.
I mean, he's allowed to. You can face his way.
We're going to sit you at the phone. We have to go near
I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
Get the phone.
So they're saying you can face the other way if it doesn't want to be done. We have a right to stand. That's what the email officer said.
I don't know. Hey, what side is the female in? Right side. Right. Oh, you're good on your side.
I'm going to put them both in the vehicle. Custody of some weed in a jar. Talking some cannabis.
Yeah, that's fine.
Low-level cannabis charges aren't going to hold up in Travis County. Okay, the lights are on. That's good. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officers present here. 3 police cars. The THC, they mentioned THC, so they're being arrested for weed. They do have a window that's out on the vehicle, and through the hood, they got through the whole car. They found a little bit of cannabis. In the jar, and they're putting it up in baggy.
Give me a medium. Medium. Yeah.
Well, that we've helped get these officers trained at the First Amendment era. They're not really trained on Miranda, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment. I'm not solo right now.
Gary, you found the ammunition, right? Yeah. I'll read your stuff later.
Probably not really down, possibly.
Yeah, get over here.
That's what she says. Again, that was a probably cause. Was it a Terry stop?
You got it here.
Did they read people their rights before they question them? But those type of things are the technical details of the law. The Constitution's meant to protect people in the democratic republic, and they're supposed to retain all your rights. And the government's supposed to have less rights, but we've had a bit of a toxic situation. They're yelling at this guy looking out.
Oh, that would be blue Cowboys bag truck.
I'm not really here to tell him, but I'm here to protect him from and his rights, people and their rights. All of us. I'm getting her back. I can't get her back.
It's going with her.
Trying to explain probable cause to the guy, but he says he wasn't there. The bulk cop is trying to badger me about why they have rights to search him in the first place. So it's probably just some traffic stops and there's an official expedition. Lawyers, I have to deal with days with this stuff. Again, you have rights. And when the cops violate your rights and don't read your Miranda and you consent to something that you didn't read your rights and didn't have counsel on, then it becomes fruit of the poison tree. The fruit of the poison tree means that it'll get dismissed if they have a halfway decent lawyer. So this case will go nowhere, but you can beat the rat, but you can't beat the law. Catch some of this guy. So, I'm gonna catch some of this. We got 5 cops conspiring, 6 cops conspiring to someone's rights.
I know.
They're telling you what's wrong.
Yeah, she has a warrant. She has
CW. She had a warrant. The passenger had a warrant. I think it's a passenger. I wasn't here at the time of stop, but it sounds like it's a passenger according to the description. You can make sure everything's supposed to set up on this search. So in Texas, definitely in Austin, anybody can have a gun, but it's not a felon. So anyone can have a gun. But the fact that if you have any kind of paraphernalia on you,
Hey, sir, my name's Sergeant Bradis. I'm the supervisor. So I let you record because you kind of fell the back when you're inching closer and closer.
there's
So-
nobody,
so-
nobody's arrested. Why are
so-
you so close to me? You're gonna
Well,
have to
'cause
give me
you're
some
getting
personal- you're gonna have
closer-
to give me some personal
Okay.
space.
Well, legally, I can be right here. So
Yeah, but
you're
I'm
getting-
telling you, don't
okay.
harass me and don't
I-
try and intimidate me for something.
I'm just talking. I'm not yelling. I'm
I
not
was
losing
just
my voice.
quietly filming. I wasn't talking
Right.
or engaging you. You're
All right.
engaging me,
Okay.
right?
Oh, yes.
So you're trying to be
As soon as you're
interviewed?
done, I'll
You need an interview? What's your name again?
Sergeant Bradis,
And what's your badge number?
7093.
Cool.
Okay.
And I'm not bothering you.
Okay.
So the federal law on this is at least, It's really fuzzy. There's no real distance in the Fifth Circuit.
Correct.
But 10 feet is legal according to another circuit.
Okay.
And so people
So according to our
some
policy,
about 20
according to our policy,
away.
you're inching away. So what I'm doing is I'm
I was just
advising.
trying to make sure that you're doing
Okay.
a lawful search. And all your subjects are already in jail.
Okay.
I mean, in custody.
So-
So
Okay.
yeah, they're already
So
in custody. So there's
one of-
really
okay.
nothing.
Okay.
There's
So
nothing
this is my advisement to you.
trepidatious.
You move past this call, we're going to
Okay, so I
detain
can go
you.
to there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can detain me right now if you want.
No, I don't want to detain you.
Okay.
But I see you inching closer and closer.
Inches
So
are not feet.
Well, about 5 feet. So
But I'm still more than 10 feet. I'm like 20 feet away.
there is no set distance, like you said.
Yeah.
I'm setting the
But,
distance right now.
There is a set distance
Okay.
in another
So I'm
circuit.
advising you right now.
So I'm advising you,
warned.
don't harass me
I'm not-
anymore.
I'm-
And I'm
I've
not
not
going to
harassed
do
you yet.
anything, but
I
I'm
haven't even
willing to
harassed
be
you
arrested
once.
for my rights.
Sir,
And that's something you'll
Sir,
lose in
I haven't
court. If
even-
you want to go
what
to
happened-
court and if you want to be defendant in my
I go to
case,
court all the time.
okay, well, I'm the motherfucker that'll get rid of your
I'm
job.
not cursing at you.
know
I don't
who
know why you have
Spees
to
is?
curse.
Because you're intimidating me and you're too close.
I
I
don't
told
have
you
my
to back
gun
up.
out.
I told you to back
You
up.
inch closer
I'm
to
going to
us.
back up from you.
That's perfect.
All right,
I
now
appreciate
go
it.
fuck
Okay.
off.
You
Now
know,
go fuck
I
off.
don't know why you have to be rude.
Because I got
I haven't been rude to
Officer
you.
Spees attacked us.
I don't know
and
who
he
that
just,
is.
you know who he is? He
I've
left a
never
woman,
met him.
and just last week he got
Okay.
fired indefinitely.
I don't know that person
Indefinitely,
personally.
he left a woman bloody in the
Okay.
back seat,
Okay.
and the chief said he's not rehireable. He can't be retrained. Can you be retrained on the First Amendment? Because I'm currently involved
I know.
and
I know.
wrapped
I know
in the
for a fact I've done
Constitution.
nothing wrong.
I'm wrapped in a First Amendment exercise.
Okay.
You see my press badge, right? You can
Okay.
read, right?
Okay.
Can you see that?
Okay.
You don't want to look at it?
I've already looked at it. I know
Okay,
what it
so
says.
you know I'm press.
I don't know what that
So
has to do with this. Even if you were
It's a
pressed.
Constitution. You know, did you swear an oath
Okay.
to the Constitution?
Okay. What have I done wrong breaking the Constitution? I've done nothing to break the Constitution. Right now.
You're actually right now you're interfering
This is
with
not
the
the
film.
definition of
You're
harassment.
interfilming.
Okay.
You're interfering with my film.
Okay.
So like you're like right in the way. I'm trying to cover this, and you're in my way. So
Okay.
if you don't understand the
I didn't-
Constitution,
I'm not moving
I
over
can
one thing.
educate you on the
Okay.
on the Constitution.
Look,
I'm more than welcome.
You're hostile. You're
I'm
cursing
not
at me.
hostile.
You're.
Are you a
I understand
sergeant?
that. I am sorry. I explained
You're a
that to you.
supervisor. And You're
Yes.
acting like this.
I'm acting
Did you
polite
see
and nice and
Acevedo?
cordial.
Chief Acevedo apologize to Philip Turner for this type of behavior.
No, I didn't.
In a public parking
Okay.
lot, you're allowed to film.
You are allowed to film.
And
I never said you weren't.
But you wanted to come and interfere with my
To say
filming.
that you moved up 5 feet, I don't want
And
you
I
to
already
move
agreed.
closer.
Already agreed.
I know, but
I'm
then
not
you
going
kept,
past
you
the
kept, you
car.
kept talking.
That's
and you
prior
were cursing
restraint.
at
Do you
me.
know what prior restraint is? Do you know the law?
Okay.
Do you know the
I
law?
don't know if you do because you.
Do you know the First Amendment?
Okay.
Can you give me the
So
five?
you've been given
Shut
a warning?
the fuck up.
Okay.
Can you give me the
Don't
five?
move past the car.
Yeah, okay, go fuck off. But now I'm closer. I'm still not past the car. I'm still complying with the orders, but the guy doesn't know the 5 elements of the Constitution. He doesn't know prior restraint. He doesn't know anything about, he doesn't want to read the fact that people are pressed. This must be a dipshit. But now all these dipshit cops, I'll fire them. Get them all fired. I don't give a shit at this point. Officer Speed's just one of the bad cops that does that kind of acts like that. Just left a woman in a pool of blood in the back seat of his police car and got fired indefinitely. He'll probably be charged for aggravated assault with bodily injury. And they're going to act like that. They're going to do Terry stops against people of color in the community, lie about what they're doing, hide what they're doing. And the press shouldn't put up with any of that. And they can fuck off. That's basically it. If he's going to just bully people, he can just fuck off. And that's what he did, and I appreciate him fucking off. Keep fucking off. But yeah, there's a unmarked vehicle here. I don't know what the license plate on that is. They could try to solicit us criminal trespass, but there's nobody from the property that's on site right now on the lake. So they basically have to make it up. Sniffing the bags. So probable smell is not probable cause, by the way. You have rights. You have the 5th Amendment and the 4th Amendment right to be secure in your person and effects from undue search and seizure. You have a 5th Amendment right to not self-incriminate yourself. And you have a constitutional First Amendment right to film and express yourself. So the 5 elements that this cop doesn't know about, religion, number 1. The 5 elements of the First Amendment. There's religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, right to assemble, right to protest government for redress of grievances. So you got those 5 rights just in the First Amendment alone. and the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. The reason we do that is because of the reason that was put down by the writers of the framers of the Constitution, or whatever you want to call them, is because of Paul Revere, because of Thomas Paine, and so what are they doing? They're rearranging their vehicles. Yeah, we can get that license plate. This is the license plate of the sergeant here. Victor Foxtrot Tango 1599. This is LP. This is a dead end parking lot. We're all moving around. This cop leaving in the truck. 709. And here's a LP 135. Something dented. That's 7741. They're leaving. These are all the backup officers. This is a arresting officer in 0362. And then this is a supervisor. It's an interesting personal vehicle. It's non-exempt plate, as you see. So it's a personal vehicle that he's using as an undercover vehicle. But they're stopped all the way over. So as they're stopped over, as their investigation's over, they're going to bully people that are filming, quietly filming. That's what they're going to do. That's what they choose to do, and that's their choice. I mean, they have a choice in life. They can either be a bad cop, or they can try to be someone that's helped society. And it's really hard to help society when you're trained such a poorly, like basically between a qualified immunity and all the shitty training they're getting at the academy for their full-time, field training officer, the FTOs, is they're training these people to be tyrants, to be bullies, to like try to bully you out of your rights, bully you into jail, threaten you, do all that shit. Yeah, they can fuck off with that shit. People just need to stop putting up with that shit.
Look at you. Yeah.
Mosquitoes are bad out there. It's the middle of winter, but it's been at the 80s.
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
I wasn't going to engage in anything really. I'm by myself. I'm not trying to do anything revolutionary. I'm looking at the engine. Let's
Well, your doors might be open too. For your dad to get it out?
cop talking to the people on the back seat.
Yeah, back left door's open. Yeah, it's still on. Might be one of their doors, I don't know.
Now we got the door open on the car. And we got a door ajar. We're trying to figure that out right now.
We're good.
Have a good one. All right, you too. Got SRT here. It's like, that's something. We're not going to identify it. It's actually not this. Victor Foxtrot Tango 1599. It's another bad cop. They're not going to talk the boogie out of here, but they got to wait for the mosquitoes are bad out there. They got to wait for their what is it called? The tow truck from Southside Towing is what I was thinking. Another Southside Towing possibly. They have some other. They used to just exclusively call Southside Towing, which is an ex-APD detective that owns Southside Towing. And they used to just basically call their buddies and get their buddies paid. Now they actually have to call several different people. Oh, don't hit the other car. Don't hit the other car. I'm having some issues with the hill. I take a lot of driving classes, but you can't really fix stupid. Cops are really not the most intelligent, honest people that you're going to come across in society. They're really the dregs. They're doing, passing each other some candies, food, something, having a little copy food snack, make more cop food. Bye guys, sorry that night ended like this in Austin. I'm sure you're trying to have a good time together, and I think they're partners. Yet the cops destroyed their night, the date night. They took their car, waiting on a tow truck. Canine, stay back. I didn't see a dog. I just smelled dog shit. Bacon and dog shit all mixed up like a soup. Yeah, they just want to escalate. They want to get up in your face and escalate. Just their body language alone is an escalation. To walk up on me like that, for that sergeant to walk up on me when I wasn't doing anything illegal, wasn't messing with them at all. They wanted to come mess with me and take an affirmative, aggressive, bullying approach to the press, and that shouldn't be allowed in a free country. That should not be allowed. But if you look at this license plate that I was on unit number 7741, they hit something because the license plate was bent in the middle. 135 2049 looks like. That's their license plate, and it's exempt. You see that? It's exempt underneath Texas. You can't really see it. It should be exempt because they don't have to pay tax law license on the tags on any vehicle. That one does, because that one's a private vehicle. It's not exempt. It's a private vehicle. That's what it said on the license plate. You can read the thing. Yeah, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning almost. We were watching a cop stalking a yuppie bar near Oracle, and a bunch of engineers and stuff. And actually, I'm okay with them pulling over rich people that make $100,000 a year. They can afford a case, and with the cash bail system, while walking across the street, they'll stay in jail for weeks, possibly months, maybe even years. And they might even disappear him in jail, and he'll get lost in the system. But if he's got money, he can cash out, hire a lawyer, and get it dismissed on the fruit of the poison tree, get a proper defense on his Fourth and Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment rights. The fact that they did a warrantless search for a man who's walking across the street. We actually watched a woman walk right in front of the cop, right across the street, right towards him, and then walk down the sidewalk, no problem. He was in a black unmarked stalking Oracle, like I said, over there off Riverside, on one of the roads past Riverside in Oracle, heading in Oracle, where the Oracle people live, in the apartments. And then a guy parked right in front of him, in front of a no parking sign, right in front of the cop, like right directly in front of him, and walked into the bar. The cop didn't do anything to him or the woman, because they said that other guy, the Lopez guy, that he walked mid-block, and they said that's something they enforce. That is not something that they enforce. They target certain individuals, which is unconstitutional because it's called selective enforcement of laws, and you can look that up. Selective enforcement is unconstitutional. You can't just have a law that only goes after people of color, and other people can do it. You can't go after poor people, and rich people can do it. You can't go after citizens for having a cell phone and driving when I'm watching cops every day with no seatbelt on their cell phones driving down the road. So there can't be two sets of laws. There's one set of law, and until there's one set of laws that's enforced that way, we're going to have a problem, because the police are not above us. The government is not above us. The yuppies are not above us. The rich people are not above us. And it's injustice for all. Injustice with liberty and justice for all. That's how it's written. Equality. Just chowing down on some cop munchies. But I'm interested in what's going on over here. Trying to see who's in this car. They're always on their computers. At least they're not surfing anything bad. Excuse me. A lot of allergies out. There's a lot of actual cedar pollen out. Mountain cedar pollen. It's super. Gets people out of their cedar fever. It can be really bad. I've had it before. It can be really bad, but in general, once you get used to it, I think you're usually okay. Your allergies can go up and down. Your histamine blockers can be up and down. But in general, I try to get out into nature and get exposed and activate my histamines and all that. And, the histamines are there for a reason, so blocking them is not the best thing, but you can block your allergies with the histamines. Histamines or histamine? I wonder. Who's in that car? Anybody in that car? There's a person in there. I can't see them. Can you see them? So yeah, they're going to be unlicensed, unlawful carrying of a weapon because the person had a little bit of cannabis on them, and because they did an illegal stop. From what I'm assuming they did an illegal stop. I don't know what they did. They're not going to tell me, and I couldn't trust them to tell me because cops lie. APD stands for always promoting deception, as everyone should know by now. When it comes to tow truck, again, Southside Time, truck police owned, and it's protected on Southside Time. You're not going to get in that way, buddy. There's no other entrance. You have to back your ass up there. That was happening. The guy that probably beats his dog right there. I think he's known to beat their dogs or canines. There was a APD officer that lived in the town just south of Rabuda, and it's Kyle Beater, and he was seen by neighbors on video beating his dog. Or whatever. And then what happened was he got in trouble. Then he got fired. Well, it could be this guy. APD tends to hire their bad cop. They're going to tell this person Southside County. As you see that round robin thing is not working to get other vendors. It's always a good old boy system. You hire your buddies get paid, make millions of dollars off of your traffic enforcements and your fishing expeditions. So Southside County makes millions of dollars a year with an almost exclusive direct contract with APD. And then Southside County is owned by an APD former detective. And from what I've heard from security people that have worked here since the 90s, the APD Austin Police Department, not only are they corrupt, not only do they get drunk, come to work on duty, sergeants come to work on duty, get on people's cars, jumping around. Not only is that a regular thing, they frequently anyways, but they regularly day and night this stuff goes on. It's just they've picked up their policing of the community, and they're going to be arresting more and more black and brown people and people driving non-Teslas. They're not going after Ferraris they're not going after Teslas full of drugs, Cybertrucks full of drugs. They're going after this little car you could probably buy for $2,000 on the market. And that's what they go after. They socially economic and racially profile people. Socioeconomic profiling is not unconstitutional because poor people and homeless people haven't been given a proper protective status, even though the law targets us. But people of color are protected status. Women are protected. People that are disabled are protected by the Constitution, constitutional law. Who else? Did I say disabled people? I think veterans might be protected. I don't know. There are protected classes, and these are definitely protected class people that were targeted. And if there was any kind of law in this country, the cops would lose their jobs for doing what they just did. That's why the reason we have the crime statistics is so not That's why it's not there. We're going to tow this guy's car, where his car is. And they're not going to have any place in there. I don't know what rights they waived. The cops deleted of theirs, but this is all backfire. I fully support the police doing this hazardous work to the community, destroying the community, filling our streets with the blood of the families they destroyed, the children that they destroyed their family. Like, these people might have families that they have to get back to, and now they can't, and now who knows what's going to happen to their family members, to their children. And so that type of stuff destroys the fabric of society, and I fully support that crap. I fully support the continued abuse of the public, because when you abuse the public, it's all going to come back. One day they'll have to take their medicine. And how long can we put up with this? How long are we going to put up with this stuff? You tell me. How long is this going to go on? These revenue road pirates, they're not held to any kind of law. They can break the law all they want, and they can do felonies. They can dump bodies in the river. They can rape women. They can murder people, shoot people in the head. They can do all that, and we've seen them do all that. Mike Ramos, Alexander Gonzalez, Kevin Brown, Pickle, Lawrence Parrish. I mean, there's hundreds of people that have been killed by APD. I can't even name them all. When I asked the city public information officer for the Austin Police Department, when I do information FOIA requests for the names and incidents of police murders or police officer-involved shootings, and even lethal use of force, they don't want to give those records. They say they don't keep use of force records at all, which is a lie. Just look it up. Like, you can use response to resistance and look it up in a database. They don't want to do a data query, but they also don't realize that some of us out here are certified database administrators. So I can administer a Microsoft SQL database. I can run a Microsoft SQL install, maintain, and run a Microsoft SQL server, SQL server, server query language, SQL. I can, what's called SQL. They call it SQL, but it's not like a movie SQL. Anyways, I can run all that. I can do the query, but they don't want to do it. They pretend that they can't do a query. They're a bunch of liars. The government is corrupt liars. So there goes their car. License plate on that thing is right there. You can really read it from here. License plate. Read that. But that's outside town. There they go. Road pirates. So if y'all want to set up a community that takes these bad cops and puts them, tows their cars, like this personal vehicle right here, tow it and search their vehicles and put them under arrest for narcotics, that would be something useful. Holding the police accountable to the same laws that they're holding everybody else accountable, that should be done first. If the police can disobey the law, then everybody can disobey the law. They're deleting the law. They're misusing the law and eroding it. And soon, this is all going to end. So that's where this place will be. There's 1111 Old Bus Stop Highway. It's hard to find. I know where it's at. I don't know why stuff like this. Old Town Tow. It's another tow company. It's supposed to be a round robin through there. Back out. Yo, block it for me. I gotta back out of here. Really trying to get through. Barely. We could barely get through. There's no traffic cop. There's a lane with AI car that will not respond to anybody in their hand signal. There's nobody else coming. Nobody coming either direction. Nobody coming. Just take it slow. Outside turn. It's an APD inside job. Joe McBride. I would ask him to be that he's probably a bad cop. He probably won't even comply. I'm just gonna see if I can make these cops disappear. at this point. The department like 70 two stops here. Sorry I had to tell a sergeant to fuck off, but he wasn't listening. He was violating my rights. So sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That's all I gotta say. Turn my body off now. What's that? I'm just turning it on. It's my body cam power at. So here's my body cam. See that? It's not very big. Can't really see it. I have no problem with fire and EMS helping people because they're creating a free public service. But if the public needs to be stalked, I guess that's what the job of the police is, to stalk us. My battery's running a little low. I don't remember if I turned it off. I've been having some issues with the body cam. I don't have a police body cam. I have an Insta360. There's a screen, and it charges up on the main unit. It has an hour and a half, hour 45-minute battery life, and it charges up on the main unit. And then see if I can get in the light here. There's the main unit. It's pretty handy. It's got a flip-up screen that I never use for filming yourself, which I don't do. There's it's charging light, but the remote unit comes out after it's charged, and it looks like this. And it has a magnet that you put under your shirt, and you wear it like a necklace, and that takes care of that. So, yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all stay safe and learn your rights. Everyone needs to learn how to film. Everyone needs to learn their rights. All right, namaste, y'all. Be safe.